Hey everyone, how's it going? Give me a minute here, make sure we're still wrapping up or setting up as usual. This is my first video like I'm making actually since my surgery. I've been thought about recording some stuff yesterday, but my head's still kind of ringing a little bit, and I've got, sorry, I'm going to keep adjusting the camera, and I might adjust the lights too. It definitely feels bright. But anyway, sorry. Yeah, so I was gonna do some stuff yesterday, but I said, well, I'm sitting on like 6 or 7 videos that I filmed last weekend. Like, why not just why not just post some of those? And then there was like 3 I hadn't had time to edit. So I was like, yeah, let's edit those ones. So that's kind of all I did yesterday. Hello, 4 people, welcome. So I guess our topic today is gonna be Venom is wrapped, apparently, wrapped principal photography. Which means that the initial bulk of what they're filming, or what they were filming, they're finished. They don't need to get any more as far as they think as that goes. Hello, Swordsman. How's it going, sir? Welcome. And if it's really bright in here, I mean, it feels so bright. Let me hold on 1 second. Let me adjust, as I tend to do sometimes. All right. I don't know if that helps out at all, but cool. And technically, actually, I don't have to really wear my helmet right now because I'm sitting down and I'm kind of relaxed. So I just got back from walking my dog, which is why I'm a few minutes late. And that kind of gave me a little energy boost. Anyway, sorry. The Venom 2. So I want to give a shout out to Venom Media here. Hey, Siike, hope you're having a great day. Hey, Abdul, what's up, dude? I'm doing okay, man. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. I appreciate it. Venom Media is this account on Instagram who has, we've followed each other for a while now and covers a lot of great stuff and posts daily pictures of Venom. So if you like need like a daily Venom fix, Venom Media is very good at it. And I get a message from Venom Media like 2 days ago or something, or maybe it was Friday morning, I can't remember. And he was like, hey, some actor posted a picture. Hello, Christian Cottle, what's up? Welcome. Thanks for following me on Instagram, by the way. Thank you. Abdul too. I think Abdul just recently followed me. He was like, hey, so I found this actor. I'm not going to say the actor's name because the actor politely asked me to take my post down when I reposted him. And absolutely, if anyone, especially if they're polite about it, I'll definitely accommodate. So, and I know that stuff can get people in trouble. And although that's not on me, like my kind of role as someone who tries to bring attention to you guys and news to you guys is, if it's public and it's out there, I grab it and I try to bring it to you. So, but obviously, if he says, hey, that could get me in trouble, and I got to take my post down too, I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, because it could get you fired, it could get you blacklisted. I'll tell you a story in a second. Let me turn my air off. Yeah, I probably should have checked that before I started the live stream. Normally I do. I just don't have the memory today. Hey, what's up, Bruce? How's it going? My roommate is a former actor, and he was on the set of Dark Knight Rises, which had Tom Hardy in it. And he was telling me the story about how right at the beginning they're like, all right, you're going to be extras. It was a robbery scene where they were robbing the stock exchange, like the Gotham City Stock Exchange. And it's like all these people in a room and stuff. And so they brought in all these extras, but they told him, like, if you have a cell phone, put it in a bag, we're going to mark it, and you'll get it at the end of the day, because we can't have you taking pictures of the set and all that stuff. And my roommate was like, no problem. He put his phone in the bag and went to set. And then when they got to set, the AD or someone came out and said, all right, who here still has a cell phone on them? Just raise your hand. And they, he's like, it's okay, like, everything's fine, I just need to know who has them, because we're about to shoot and stuff. And so 2 people raised their hands, and according to my roommate, those 2 people were escorted off the set, and they were told never to come back. And then that is a strike against them for not listening to the rules, and that could lead to you never getting a call again to be an extra or be a stand-in or be an actor in a background scene or whatever. So it could ruin your career putting stuff online like that. So when the guy asked me politely, he was like, hey man, we got to take this stuff down. I'm like, no problem, man. Like, no problem. Hey, good to see you too, Lisa. How are you? So anyway, this actor posted a picture about the wrap a day before Tom Hardy did, and I would imagine that when Tom Hardy posted it, his was only up for like maybe 10 minutes or something like that. It was like maybe less, and it got taken down. And Venom Media saw it and wrote me instantly and was like, "Hey, check this out. This is from Tom Hardy. He just posted it and deleted it within minutes." And it's a picture showing that they did wrap, in fact, because the actor that we had his picture of, he was posting that it wrapped. And I'm sure Sony or someone was like, "Dude, that info has to come from Tom Hardy. Like, what are you doing?" And like, I can't speak. I don't know the real terms. I don't know what was said or anything, obviously. But I'm just imagining that maybe he was told to take it down so that Tom could post it, so the news could come out through Tom, and then they deleted it. But I think that's just part of their marketing strategy. Like, we talked about that before, where Tom posts something and then takes it down because he might be in trouble. But I'm sure it's all part of the marketing. Because it costs no money to do that, and then it gets all these websites to write articles about it for like a week, 2 weeks, sometimes longer, and gets guys like me to make videos on it. And so it's like it's free press. It's so easy to do. So it works. It's very effective. Hunter says, so they're done filming. They'd only been filming for like 45 days. Don't know if that's good or bad. So there's more. I mean, obviously there's a lot more that goes into movies than just the filming. Obviously, we did a whole video on pre-production. A lot of stuff gets done really early in pre-production, especially visual effects. Like, a lot of people, "Hey, what's up, Venom Speedy? What's up? Good to see you on here, man. Welcome back. Welcome to my first live stream since my surgery. I had the surgery on Monday, and I'm recovering better now. The first couple days were a little rougher than the last time I had coils put in, but this time a little bit rockier of a road. But I'm doing a lot better today. So yeah, good to see you, man. Kelly, I wonder if it has to do with the characters being mostly special effects, visual effects. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Brandon? How's it going? So yeah, visual effects are done, and like, they could be done early. Like, they could be done right at the beginning of filming. They could be done because Andy Serkis did stay recently, and I have videos on this stuff coming out. I just didn't have time to record it before my surgery, so I'll try to record them this week about Andy Serkis's BAFTA, conversation. I also found out some cool, well, not cool, I guess it'll be boring to some, but some like really interesting to me press stuff. Like, it was like I looked into like Sony's actual third quarter, or whatever, fourth quarter sales and marketing and stuff. And they posted a video about their sales and how they're doing as a company, and how each division's doing. And it's like a video you can watch on their website if you go to their press stuff. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And they mentioned Venom in one of them. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll make a video on this. So, the different stages of filmmaking, yeah, principal photography wrapped, but that's when now they'll go in the editing room and they'll put everything in place, and they'll start trying to formulate a movie and start making a story out of it. And then they're going to, they'll hit a point where they realize, oh, well, maybe this actor didn't do as well as we needed, or their tone isn't what we really need for the movie now, because we changed the scene in editing. And now that the way they spoke their line wasn't as empathetic as it needs to be, so we need to bring them in for ADR. Oh, this shot, like, maybe we need something to insert a scene here that helps bridge this story gap together. Movies are not easy to make. So after you film it, you're like, all right, we went off the script, so we did the best we could off the script. But it's still, sometimes in most movies you have to do reshoots. Sometimes it's a little as a couple days, sometimes it's extensive, as we've seen lately with big Hollywood movies, when they're throwing money around. But Venom, they want to get it right. They want this movie, they want to do better than the first time. That's everyone's goal, is always to improve and grow. So yeah, I think there's a lot of visual effects that are going to be in this movie. I still haven't learned. I did reach out to Andy Serkis's people and asked if they were involved in the motion capture of this movie. I was like, look, I don't want any spoilers of the movie. I just want to know if you guys are involved in the motion capture, if you're doing motion capture, because remember, the first movie had very little motion capture, and it was mostly like this new technology that we were talking about in the first season, that they tried to make Venom, where they just kind of imposed it over Tom. So they let Tom act in person, and they just overlapped it, but they didn't do like the little dots and stuff in most scenes. I'm sure Andy's going to do the opposite. He's going to probably want to do the dots, add some humanity to the monsters, to an extent. And so I just was like, oh, let's reach out to Andy Serkis's people. Of course, I'm a nobody, so they're probably not even going to return my email, but I did try. I mean, these are the things I do try behind the scenes to bring content to this channel. Yeah, it could be. It could just be that they got a lot of work in post to do, and they knew exactly what they needed to film. Like Andy Serkis doesn't seem like a guy who likes to waste time, so he probably was like, boom, 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 let's knock out. They said they shot for about 45 days or so, but they've been filmed. The movie started like, what was it? November. Was it November or October 19th or something like that? So I think it was November 19th was Tom Hardy posted that picture that said day one, Venom day one. And we made a live stream about it. It was one of our first Venom lives. And in that, we talked about how the date, it was like the beginning of the filming, but that was over 60 days ago. So clearly they didn't film every day, which they typically wouldn't. They didn't film every day for those 2.5 months or whatever. They filmed so they had days off, probably weekends and stuff. And, they got to go to like award shows, and they got to, Tom's got to visit the set of Peaky Blinders probably. And there's a lot of things they got to juggle. So people get days off, and they try to work the schedule the best they can. But I still was surprised to see that the movie was wrapped principal photography for sure. Hold on, let me catch up on chats here. That's good. He was in the hospital. Also, we make our comebacks together. Hey, look at that. Best friends, dude, always. Be hospital buddies. Cool. Well, I'm glad you're back, man. I was wondering, because I haven't seen some posts from you, I think, as much. And so, if you're doing a live stream, let us know, because I'll try. I mean, I got a full day ahead of me, but I'll try to catch it later on. Swordsman says that's good here. Hunter says, must be according to leaked Venom and Carnage will fight more than once throughout the movie. I just hope they do. Carnage, right. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, of course, I imagine Venom and Carnage are going to fight. It's funny when I hear rumors like that. They just sound like educated guesses to me. Like, we talked about that recently with that article, if you follow me on Twitter. And that guy was like, why are you attacking me? I'm like, I'm not. I'm just explaining I guess in some way I was afterwards. But in the moment when I was responding to the original post, I was like, yeah, this just seems like an educated guess. Like, I could sit here and tell you, hey, the movie's going to end with Venom fighting Carnage, and I could guess, like, add a guess on, and Anne Wang is going to be She-Venom for a scene, and she's going to fight Shriek. I could easily make that up, and it could 100% be true in the movie. And it could be very possible that, I mean, obviously the movie's going to end with Venom versus Carnage, but I could come out and say, hey, Venom is going to fight Carnage at the end of this movie. It's going to be a big battle, exclusive. I could easily do that. And so sometimes articles just come across that way. Then maybe to be fair to the journalist who posted those stories, like, and stuff, maybe that's not how they meant it to come across. Maybe they were just like, hey, I got to get this up and I got to post it. And we all have time crunches and stuff. So, I should have been maybe a little bit more understanding to that. But still, it's like, that's how those articles come across me. So when someone says, oh, I heard a rumor that they're going to fight more than once, it's like, but you could guess that. Like, who you don't need a rumor for that. You could guess it. 45 days of filming does not sound that amusing. Plus, I was reading Goyer's 1997 Venom's movie script. And oh yeah, were you late November to early February? Yeah, so yeah, that was kind of how they've been filming. Yeah, Goyer's. Yeah, I thought someone asked me to make a video on the different versions of Venom movies that they try to make, like with Goyer and Dolph Lundgren, and then like the writers who did Deadpool, I think, did a script, and maybe we'll still do that at some point. I haven't done a ton of research into that stuff, but maybe we'll look into it. They had a Venom movie planned in 1997. They did. Yes, they did. That's a bit odd. Where did you find that at? I'd like to read about it. Oh yeah, that's oh man, yeah. Well, maybe because of Hunter's comments here. I just thought most people knew about it. That's why I never thought to make a video on it. Like, people kept telling me like, oh, you should do a history of all that, and I'm like, but if you already know about them, why do I need to do a Venom history video? But yeah, I guess that makes sense. There's probably people that have no idea that Dolph Lundgren was going to play Venom at one point. Late November, early February. Yeah, only on Instagram recently. Live streams next weekend. Thank you. Hey, cool, awesome. Well, I look forward to next weekend then for sure. I just found out randomly, maybe Google Venom 97 Goyer. Will it work? Yeah, I think you can I think you can even look at the Wikipedia page, because a lot of those cite sources now. Like, I mean, I don't normally say go to Wikipedia for research, But I do occasionally, of course. It's an easy tool, but I always look for the things that are sourced, or that link to a source of where they get the info from. And I think there's a lot of stuff on there about those versions of the movie. Yeah, it was Reddit leaked about Venom and Carnage finding through the movie, so I'd take it with a grain of salt. I mean, of course, it's Reddit. I fucking hate Reddit. It's like, sorry for the language. Will Spider-Man appear in Venom 2? Probably. I have no idea. I think we were talking about maybe him being the post-credit scene. That makes the most sense to me. Obviously, Sony wants to get these two characters together as soon as possible, but it doesn't make sense to have him play an actual role in this movie. I feel it would be great to set him up for a next movie. And then, so like, this movie is like Venom versus Carnage, and the next movie could be Venom versus Spider-Man. That's kind of how I feel about it. So I imagine he will be, but it'll probably be in a post-credit scene. I imagine they might try to squeeze in 2 post-credit scenes in this one if they're trying to build the Sinister Six. That could be a possibility too, like that we didn't think of before, where it's like I'm sure someone's thought of it, but it's like have a post-credit scene, and then at the in the mid-credit scene, and then at the very end have a scene where, like, if Vulture's recruiting people like Morbius, because this reminds me of the release schedule for Iron Man 1 and the Incredible Hulk. Those movies came out like 3 months apart in the same year, and it wasn't until the end of Iron Man 1 where people realized, oh crap, they're going to connect these movies. He just mentioned the Avengers, so it got a lot of people to go see Incredible Hulk at the possibility of connections, and there were. And then that movie ended with a scene with Robert Downey Jr. in it. So Morbius 1 and Venom 2 were releasing about a couple months apart, and I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, that kind of mirrors that Phase 1 Marvel stuff. So I imagine if there's a scene like that in Morbius, there's going to be a scene like that in Venom to start linking Venom to all that Sinister Six stuff. I don't want Venom versus Spider-Man, or rather Venom fail and then team up in the third movie. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, when you make a movie, I mean, it's like the first Venom movie is easy because you're doing an origin story. When you're doing the sequel and you have this plan for future movies, yeah, you do got to think of slightly long-term storytelling, but you also got to think of a conclusive chapter. And I don't know. I don't know if it depends on the type of movie they tell with Venom 2, but I don't know if I want a movie where it ends with Venom completely failing. Maybe there's failure in his success, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I know. I mean, me and Swordsman sometimes are on opposite sides of what we want from the character, which is great. I mean, I don't want people here to always agree with me. So that's a possibility. We'll see, like an Empire Strikes Back of Venom movies, where it ends on a down note. I just got the coolest Venom cover in a mystery box yesterday. Venom has some cool art for sure. Venom, most artists will tell you that he's one of their favorite characters to draw, because he's very simple in the sense that, like, if you're a pencil artist, you don't have to shade him in. You could leave the inker do that. You could just draw the X's everywhere. so there's not a lot of detail in the body for the most part, except for maybe some muscle definition. But his face, like, his face is awesome. Like, he's got a big smile. It's like, what's not to love? The gory script begins with young Cassidy dealing with young Eddie. Yeah, that was the thing with a lot of the earlier versions of Venom 1 was Venom versus Carnage. Like, Carnage was the antagonist of the film. So yeah, a lot of those early scripts had Venom fighting Carnage. Plus, it was taking place in a burning building with firemen. Yeah. Oh, wow. Visually, that's outstanding. That's actually a great visual. Yeah, the two symbiotes fighting, and then the suit's like screaming because the fire is getting closer and closer, and Eddie's trying to, like, save firemen and, like, throw them out the window and, like, web so they land safely or something, but while still fighting Carnage. Like, yeah, that's cool. So could you give me some of your thoughts on how you think they'll make Venom 2 better than Venom 1? Well, I think really what it comes down to is character. I think the first movie had actors in it, but I don't think it had a lot of characters in it. Sure, I mean, you could argue, well, it's like, oh, well, they were all playing characters. It's like, yeah, but they didn't feel like characters. Like, I felt a little bit of the Anne-Eddie relationship, fairly well in the beginning. Like, it's like, oh, they're kind of, really into each other, and then he kind of betrays her and kind of checks her emails and uses that as a source, and it ends up getting them both fired from their respective careers and jobs. So I kind of like that. And then I even like that Dan wasn't like a complete douchebag. Like it was like, oh, she's got a new boyfriend, but he's like a fan of Eddie's. So it was like there was semblances of character moments, but I felt like the movie didn't have characters outside of Eddie. I think like Tom really gave his all to make Eddie a character. So I think Andy Serkis is being an actor himself is going to bring more character to the movie, and he'll probably bring more focus on character for Carnage and Wang, Dan, maybe even, and whoever Stephen Graham's playing. So I imagine we're going to get more character, and that to me is better because so again, when I say better, it's subjective. Whatever you think is better, you might think better CGI makes a better movie, and I'll agree to that too. And I'm sure this movie will have better CGI than the first one because again, Andy Serkis. But I also know he's a character-driven actor, so I imagine he's going to try to get really good character performances out of his actors. So I think that's what I mean when I say better, but other people might have a different definition of better. When do I think the trailer for Venom 2 will come out? We were just talking about that online, me and Venom Gaming and stuff. It looks like, I mean, maybe March, but remember the first trailer came out a year ago, or 2 years ago today. 2 years ago, February 8th was when we got the first teaser trailer for Venom 1. And that was the one that didn't have any symbiote action in it that a lot of people got pissed off about. But they just released it to show you the tone of the movie that they were going for. This time around, I don't know if they're going to bother with a teaser because I don't know. We'll see. But they released that February 8th of last year, like a week and a half after they finished filming in San Francisco. So it was very close. So I would say we could get it anywhere from, a teaser trailer, anywhere from, next week or the week after. So by end of February, possibly if they do a teaser trailer, or if they're waiting to cut together a more solid trailer. Someone mentioned that Bloodshot is a Sony movie with Vin Diesel, and it could be a big hit, and that is coming out in March, and that they might try to attach it to that movie. So yeah, I would say I don't know for sure, but that could be the possibility. I would say. Sounds horrible, Georgie says. Yeah, sometime with Black Widow. Venom 3 should be about the symbiote invasion and Spidey team up. I mean, that's the route I think they're going to go with, but I don't know. They definitely set that up in the first movie that the Clintar race or whatever, they definitely want to invade Earth for domination. I imagine the fact that they have a ship that has gone unanswered, that could be a plot thread there that you could bring back in the third movie. Typically in trilogy rules, you do want to tie back to the first one. That's kind of what the movie Scream taught us, and then every trilogy before Scream. But Scream kind of pointed it out and shined a magnifying glass on it. And you want to tie back to the first movie. Like Die Hard 3 with a Vengeance, I think had the villain in it was like the brother of the villain from the first movie. So it kind of like, ties back. So typically you want to do that. So that's a good plot thread for a third movie. The third one could be to do with Null. That would be pretty cool. Brendan said, I hope not. I hate Null. I think he's such a boring character. I know a lot of you guys love him, but if they do Null, I mean, I'll be down for a completely new interpretation of him if they do Null. I mean, they have to answer to somebody, so that's a possibility. I mean, if they got sent there and Riot was like a general and Venom was like an underling who was trying to prove himself, if that's the backstory of those characters, which they kind of hinted at in various interviews and stuff before the first movie came out, that Riot and Venom were soldiers essentially, then yes, they would have a general. And so I guess that could be the movie version of Null, as maybe he's not a god, but maybe he's just like in charge of the symbiotes. I don't think CG would have been ready for Venom and Carnage in 1997. No, they would have done a lot of practical rubber suits and stuff, most likely. For some reason, I'm worried for Dan and Venom 2. Oh, you think he might die? Yeah, I guess that's a possibility. Yeah, I mean, they gotta up the body count. It's Carnage, So they're bringing back Mrs. Chen. I'm worried about Mrs. Chen. I was thinking about that. I was like, Venom doesn't have a lot of friends at the end of the first movie. So what are the threats against him for the second movie? And I was like, well, Anne, obviously, like, Carnage can definitely go after Anne, but instead of just doing that old trope, what other friends can Carnage terrorize? And I was like, well, there is kind of Dan, in a way, is kind of a friend, and definitely Mrs. Chen. So yeah, I hope things don't go south for those characters too. But at the same time, you kind of have to, because it's Carnage, so you got to up the ante. You get a video about the script, 119 pages if you want. Probably another live stream. Maybe we'll do that. Thanks for the idea, Georgie. I'll think about it. I might do it after my move, because 119 pages in a live stream, like I'm gonna need time to read that and stuff, like reread it and stuff. So maybe I'll do it after my move. Love that they didn't do the jealous X trope with Dr. Dan. I love his character, and they should not have cut out the scene where he carries Eddie after the lobster tank. No, that's true. There's some great deleted footage from the first movie. Tom Hardy said there's like over 40 minutes or something of usable deleted footage that he really wanted in the movie. Man, I mean, I know Sony will probably never release that stuff to an extent. They put some of the deleted scenes on the DVD, but I would love if they did a box set of these movies one day with like all the Venom movies, that they add in like a bonus disc and they just put all that stuff in there. That would be so freaking awesome. Or re-release like a deluxe edition when Venom 2 comes out in the theaters. That would be awesome. I would buy it. I would buy it just for the deleted scenes. I agree. The CG would be Spawn bad. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You guys remember Spawn. They can improve on pacing and editing. For sure on editing. I agree. Pacing, I mean, the first movie was really quick, and it did have a nice energy to it. I agree story-wise with the pacing. It was choppy. But as far as an energy flow to the movie, I thought it had a really good flow. Like, I'm never bored watching that movie. There's maybe like 2 or 3 scenes that are kind of drag a little bit. But for the most part, the energy of it, I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, I would agree on editing as far as like not looking at it just from a flow standpoint, but also like balancing the characters and story. I agree on that for sure. Abdul says, I really hope they take how the symbiote latched onto his host in Spider-Man 3 and maybe implemented some of that to the current version. I mean, we already had that version, and I'm pretty sure they're not gonna go that route. That was the whole point, was that it was like wearing an Iron Maiden costume. That was what they wanted for Eddie in the Spider-Man 3. They were talking about the behind the scenes, where it's like it's pulling at his skin and it's like pulling his face and stuff, and it's like not comfortable, and it's like he's constantly in pain because Eddie himself is in pain. Whereas Spider-Man was in pain, but it tried to have a facade that he wasn't, and that's why it was all smooth and not as intense with Peter until we started to resist it. I love that. There's a lot of thought went into the suit for Spider-Man 3 that I thought really worked. Just a bummer that movie wasn't a little bit better than it was. It's too early for Noah to appear in spin-offs. yeah. I mean, I don't care about Noel being in these. If they just put Noel in and he's like a general, it's like fine, that's fine. But if they're gonna do the whole symbiote God coming to Earth thing, I don't know. Can bring in the poisons, Kree, Skrulls, lots of ways to go. I mean, I don't know about that. Probably poisons. I don't know what Sony owns. They don't. I mean, I know they're working with Marvel now, kind of, but it's still adjunct. It's like I don't think Marvel characters can appear in like a Venom movie. It has to be like a character that Sony had a hand in too, like Vulture. Like that's a Sony and Marvel. Like Marvel borrowed him kind of to be in the Spider-Man movie. So Sony could be like, well, we own Vulture, so we can put him in this, and we own Mysterio and and Sergei and whatever characters he squeezed in as cameos in the second movie. Like we can use them. But I don't know about Skrulls and stuff. I don't think they can go that route. And I really don't want them to. I still want Venom to be its own universe. But I don't think they're able to do that kind of crossover. I would love the Skrulls were course corrected back into villains. I hate Captain Marvel did with them. I mean, I'm sure I'm 100% sure they're gonna do some dumb story where there's like a faction of Skrulls that are bad or something. I'm sure they'll do something. Because remember, like half the Skrulls got wiped out by Thanos, if you think about it. So I imagine when they get zapped back in, maybe there's some kind of grudge against. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not going to probably keep up with the Marvel universe that much moving forward. I'm interested if Sam Raimi directs Marvel or Doctor Strange. I'll probably go see that, and then I might go see Black Widow because I love Scarlett Johansson. But past those, like I'll probably just wait for Blade. Like I'm excited for Blade. Big problem I had with Spider-Man 3 was that he was not thick. No, he was a thin swimmer body Venom. Yeah, the new thickness is good. For me, it was that his actual character was all wrong. I mean, yeah, for sure. They definitely did a different take on Eddie for sure in that movie to work with the story they were telling. Unfortunately, you're right. It wasn't 100% true to Eddie, but I also felt like there were some moments that felt kind of Eddie-ish. But yeah, I think I talked about it when it was more fresh in my mind. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but we did, I think episode 100, we did a review of the editor's cut of Spider-Man 3, which I didn't know was a thing existed. So we did, so yeah, I think in that episode I talk about my thoughts on Spider-Man 3. Well, just woke up. What did I miss? You didn't miss anything. 10-15 minutes, just because I do have a long day ahead of me. Edit right or export properly, and so now I have to deal with that again. So yeah, I might be a day late on my freaking Patreon again, because I wanted to post it today. It was supposed to really go up yesterday, but I didn't have it exported yet. So now that I do, or now that I tried and something went wrong, I'm like, I have to look into that. When I woke up that morning, that was what started my morning, and I was like, ugh. And I almost canceled this live stream so I can work on it, and I was like, it's fine. I was like, I'll work on it, after or whatever. So, does anyone want to know how Venom looks like in 1967 show or the new animated series 2003? Yes, I don't know. Sure, post it on Instagram. I'm excited to see the whole party rave scene, because it's going to be Carnage murdering people. It's going to be a scene that a lot of people remember. I mean, I'm assuming. We don't know. I mean, we talked about that party scene, and then Tom Hardy released that image like 2 days later of people wearing Mickey Mouse ears out of blacklight. Like glow sticks type things, like the bracelets and everything you can connect together. So yeah, it'd be interesting, and I'm curious to see if this party scene in the movie is a rave, and if it is, that would be cool visual. Like, you have the blacklight stuff, and you have Venom and Carnage marching through there fighting and stuff. It could be really cool. Thank you guys for the 6 thumbs up. 16 people here. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, if you have any Venom questions, let me know, because we're probably gonna wrap up, like I said, about 10-15 minutes. Instead of an overpowered character like Null, maybe they can introduce something a bit more down-toned. Maybe have something along the lines of Symbiote Queen, like from Alien. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, Null is like, he's the only real look at Null. Like, we know what he looks like visually, and we know what his goals are from the Donny Cates Venom run, but to really, like, they did that Silver Surfer Black series, and when I saw that, they sent me an Instagram picture and said, hey, look, Null is in this, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna read this, one, because I love Silver Surfer, but two, I'm gonna give Donny Cates a chance to really like sell me on this Null guy, because if this is a story that's set in the past, we can actually see the character of Null. And then when I read that book, I was like, wow, Null is not a character at all. He's not. He's the opposite of a character. He barely has motivation. So I guess that kind of makes him a character in some regard. But he's so flat. It's just like he's this one track mind, doesn't change. Boring. Attack. And when I was reading Silver Surfer Black, I was like, well, I like some of this, and I love the art for sure, but I really was like, this was his chance to sell me on Null, and it didn't work for me. I was like, yeah, this is bad. Like, I don't care about the character. He's not interesting. He just seems like this OP thing. Like, that's what a lot of writers do nowadays. They're like, I just need things to solve problems when I get into a rut when I'm writing. So they come up with a character like Null, and they're like, all right, he can do pretty much anything I need him to do, and I'm going to be vague on his backstory, because I'm gonna flesh that out over like 50 issues, and I don't want to reveal everything, because in case I need him to do this, or I get into a corner, I'm gonna have him do this, and he'll get me out of that corner. And then Dylan, it's like, all right, you want Eddie Brock to have a son. That's a great story concept, but then now you're gonna make him this OP thing that can literally do anything whenever you get into a point in the story where you need him to do something. And at that point, I'm just like, all right, so these aren't even really characters. They're just things to help you get through the plot. But not like in a character way. Eddie Brock just having a human son, that would have been a great story. But this whole thing they're doing with Dylan and Null to me is not interesting. But I know a lot of you guys like it, so this isn't me like slamming on you guys. It's just, I'm just trying to explain why I don't like it. I'm interested in the party scene too. Y'all ever see the video for Caravan Palaces Lone Digger? I have not. No, I have not. I know I mentioned this last time. Oh, that's okay, Abdul. You can repeat, man. I have a bad memory sometimes, so that's okay. Let's not forget the infamous Bully Maguire, Tom Holland dance-off. Let's never forget that, please. Don't ever forget that. Saturday Night Fever, Eddie strutting on the sidewalk was pretty ridiculous, although Venom did think he was hot stuff in the early comics, though, and he was. Yeah, Eddie had a swagger, that's for sure. Eddie definitely had a swagger. I think that's why I always liked the idea of Tom Hardy playing Eddie, is because I'm like, Tom Hardy kind of has a swagger about him. Maybe it's not the same energy as 90s Venom swagger, but it's a swagger nonetheless. He's got a swagger about him. So yeah, I kind of like that. Transformers Beast Wars had a really dated CGI, but the storytelling was great. Amen to that. Yeah, we'll have to do a live stream for Transformers at some point. And I have other reviews. I have a Resident Evil video that's done that I'll post later today, another Transformer video. Tomorrow I'll post a Ghost Rider video. And I think that should be all the videos I made before my surgery. I think that's everything. So then hopefully by my next day off is going to be, I have to go back to work on Monday, assuming I feel fine enough to work, but I think I will. I think I'll be all right. And then Tuesday is I have the next day off on Tuesday. So Tuesday I might record some new stuff, like the BAFTA stuff with Andy Serkis and stuff. But pretty much tomorrow I'm just going to focus on my podcast. It's raining symbiotes. Hallelujah. Ooh, a symbiote queen would be interesting to see. Yeah, sure. That's I mean, that would just be stealing from Alien, but sure, yeah. Sports. Hello, sir. Hey, what's up, Rohit? How's it going? Swordsman says, if Venom does go full MCU, how about Venom facing Spider-Man villains like in Mike Costa's run instead of doing the Invasion story or Null? I mean, sure, but I don't know. I feel like escalation is going to be a thing. Sony wants their own Marvel universe or their own pocket of it, so they're going to want their own cosmic threats too. So even though I don't want Null in these movies, I feel like it's not out of the realm of possibility because they're going to want to escalate things. Like the first movie, though, it seems weird. That's why we got to see what the plot is for the second movie, because a lot of us are assuming Maximum Carnage. We're assuming street level stuff, gritty stuff. But who knows? Like, they could be picking up the invasion thread. It could be Carnage, being like, no, Dad, like, you why did you turn on your own race? Like, like they wanted to come and kill all these people, and Cletus Cassidy wants to kill all these people. So now it's the perfect symbiote, right? And host relationship, because if the suit is like, no, we came here, we were sent on a mission, or Dad, you were sent on a mission to wipe this planet out, and you didn't. And so now we're born and we're going to carry out that mission because that's what, our general or our God or whatever wants us to do. So we have no idea what threads they're going to introduce in the next movie. So I would say it's more likely they're going to escalate the invasion story and less likely they'll connect to the Marvel stuff. But I would like to see Venom versus Scorpion on screen. That would be freaking awesome. But we might still get that. Like, I think Sony's going to go their route with Venom in his stories that way, but with Spider-Man they're still going to do Sinister Six, so you'll probably still get those interactions. We might have our cake and eat it too, on that one. So I wouldn't be surprised if we both get what we want out of this. Sir Tom, actually I would say I'm more into what you want. I don't know if I'm into the invasion stuff, but I feel like that's what they're probably going to go down there. It seems like the logical route, and that's the story they set up in the first movie, so I feel like they're just going to keep that going. Sir Tom Hardy is the best Bane and also as Venom. Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, Jeep Swenson, R.I.P. He played Bane in the Batman and Robin movie, and it was kind of a mindless take on Bane. I think they just hired Jeep because of his size. But R.I.P. I mean, I think he passed away a couple years after that movie. So yeah, it's like there's two Banes and two people. Two people played Bane and two people played Venom. So. Yeah, it makes sense that Tom would be the favorite in both those situations. The party scene could be inspired by the 90s Maximum Carnage run where Carnage goes on a killing spree at the Deep. I mean, that's true, Logan. I think we might have, I don't know, we didn't mention that in that video, actually. I don't think I did mention that, but we did cover Maximum Carnage, and I remember the Deep. And in the first season of the show, when we talked about Maximum Carnage, I mentioned that scene from the Deep, and I said that's what they need in Venom. They need a scene in Venom 1 where there's a party going on, and Eddie's there to take down like some goons or something, and could be a weakness. I mentioned that I would like to see a scene like that in the first movie. So when the first movie came out and we didn't get that, I was like, okay, and now we're hearing, we saw extras listed for the party scene and stuff, and actors at least listed for that. So I'm like, good, maybe we'll get that scene now that I wanted in the first movie. And yeah, my want of that scene comes from that moment in the comic for sure. That one, and then the moment where Spider-Man and Venom fight Carnage at a concert during Savage Genesis, like Carnage's first appearance. So yeah, it was like those two scenes from the comics, and make me want that in the movie. Love the idea that he can't kill Lee Price while he's at it. Oh yeah, Lee Price. Oh yeah. And we're gonna get to that character maybe we're never gonna. I don't care. I don't care about Lee Price. We might though. That I'll be honest. Those first 6 issues, or the first issue of that Venom run, intrigued me a little bit. I'm like, all right, he's this like soldier, and you think he's going to be a good guy, and then he gets the symbiote, and he's instantly a bad guy, and he's corrupting the symbiote. I'm like, oh, that's not a half bad idea. Unfortunately, the few issues after that didn't help sell me on it, and I think it was just filler. Like I think the whole plan was just bring someone in for a couple issues, and then we'll bring Eddie back in the big 150th issue. So I think that was always the plan, and so I don't think Lee Price ever got a chance to really be a good character. I think Mike Costa did the best he could that character, but yeah, I'm kind of glad Lee Price. I got to give Donny Cates credit for that. I'm glad he killed Lee Price because I don't ever want to see a Lee Price story again. I mean, it's a bummer because sometimes you don't want to kill characters because you're like, all right, they sucked in their intro, but maybe you can flesh them out later and actually do something interesting with them later. But Donny Cates doesn't seem like that kind of writer. He's just like, all right, if I don't like it, I'm going to get rid of it, so that way I can do my thing. And yeah, that's fine. Plus, he needed to up the body count for Maximum, or for the minimum. What was it called? Carnage Unleashed? No, I already forgot the Absolute Carnage. I already forgot the name of this. I bought like 60 comic books with that name on the cover, and I can't even remember the cover. That sounds deep, man. Nice, I got that right. It's impressive how they have managed to not let that much out filming, such as Woody Harrelson, because we haven't seen him at all. Well, I mean, closed sets are a big deal, man. Like the first movie, nobody had a shot of Woody Harrelson from the first movie either. Or I think maybe someone did, but they weren't allowed to release it or something. So, yeah. So no, closed sets are no joke, man. I've been on a closed set with Marvel. That Iron Man 2 set. I walked on the set of Iron Man 2, and yeah, they were like, nobody comes in here. Like I was really lucky to get that tour of that set, because they were like, we don't let anybody in that's not working on this movie. But they had heard we were filming something in the stage next to them, and they had heard we were big fans, so they were nice enough to bring us over. But yeah, in today's day and age of just like people taking pictures and stuff, you're right. It is quite impressive that nothing major has gotten out there. But we're not done. We're not done. Just because the principal photography finished doesn't mean we're done. There's other stuff they got to do for the movie, so we might still get. And now that they are done filming principal photography, though, we'll get actual stuff like from press. Like we'll get the first official image. Remember last time it was Tom Hardy in like a blue shirt, which is I use a lot in my artwork on this channel, and I put like my head as Venom over it. But yeah, I mean, there's first official images. We're going to get into that phase now, and that's good for this channel because then that gives me more content. I don't have to dig so much to find stuff for you guys, which will be good because I'm moving in a month, so I need it to be a little bit easier on me right now. Swordsman says, yeah, Venom versus Maniac result Lee's death as in a movie tradition would be great. Kind of felt cheated when Carnage did it instead of Venom. I mean, sure, yeah, it should have been Venom that did it, but whatever. Yeah, that would be cool if Venom did it to get Lee Price's codex to use against Carnage. That would have been cool. There were so many missed opportunities in Absolute Carnage. The more I think about that story, my whole collection, Venom #1 by Donny Cates all the way to the end of Absolute Carnage, that whole stack of comics I gave to a friend of mine who has a little brother, and I was like, your little brother will probably enjoy reading these. Like I didn't get anything out of these books. I didn't really like this run, but I wanted it to go to a good home. I see people online, they like tear up their comic books and stuff when they don't like something, and I'm like, come on, man. There's probably some kid out there, the next generation of comic fans. Go give it to them. Like, go like, don't just walk up to children and hand them free comics. That would be really creepy. But like my friend, I know my friend, I work with him, and he's like, oh, my little brother's a big fan of Venom. And when he said that, I was like, would he like some free comic books? And it's like, boom, there you go. So I gave it to him, and he gave them to his brother. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't believe in I don't, things shouldn't end. It's like, just because I'm not a fan of it, it's like, but yeah, there's so many people who are younger than me who will be comic fans, hopefully for the next 10, 20 years. You got to nurture that. Like, I think so many people my age are against new fans. They're like, screw them. They don't support you. They don't, they don't show up and buy your books like I do every week. And it's like, give them a chance to. Like when you were 16 or 17 or 20, you might not have gone to the comic store every week and bought as much as you buy now. You were on a budget, probably, like most kids that age are, and so you probably went in and bought your 2 or 3 comics, and that was it. So you got to give them a chance. Not everyone is older and balances their checkbook better. That's an old reference there. I'm getting to be older, so Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. To me, I don't like the finality of things. It's like, no, things got to keep going. Like, um, just like nothing ends. Nothing ever ends. Let's see here. Stephen Graham equals toxin. Maybe. I mean, do you disable the comments on YouTube itself, or does the stream? Just wondering. I don't disable comments typically, but I do have words that are banned. I think like a list, not many. I don't think I have that many on there, but no, I don't typically disable comments like personally. I mean, unless YouTube does. But no, I think comments you can't leave until the live stream is over. So if you're trying to comment on this video, I don't think you can. I think you can only be part of the live chat right now. Stephen Graham equals toxin. Yeah, so there's rumors that he might be playing Patrick Mulligan. We'll see. I don't know. It could be. I mean, I hope he doesn't become toxin. I hope he's just Patrick Mulligan and he actually makes Patrick Mulligan an interesting character. That would be nice. Swordsman says Logan shook. That was a great part of MC. First time Venom saved MJ2. Oh yeah, for sure. For Maximum Carnage, yeah. I mean, yeah, the unlikeliest person to save MJ2 was Venom, which was great. Lisa says Lee Price was womanizing lunatic Venom in SpiderMan Dark Reign. Lee Price was womanizing lunatic Venom in SpiderMan Dark Reign. That doesn't sound right. Dark Reign was Matt Gargan, the Scorpion. So no, that was not Lee Price. I like the Lee Price story not because he's a good character, but because it was kind of a switch of what we're used to. Because Venom wanted to do good, but Lee Price wanted to be evil. I mean, that's the element I like too, but unfortunately they didn't do enough with it. But that's what pulled me in originally. I was like, oh, maybe I'll give this new Venom book a shot. And then I got a few issues in. I'm like, eh. But then someone told me like, oh, Eddie Brock's gonna come back. So I was like, all right, I'll keep reading. And then I like Mike's stuff. I've read some of his other stuff. I think he's done like G.I. Joe and a couple other stuff, books that I've read and Transformers at one point. So I like his stuff. So I'm glad I stuck with that run too, because I thought it ended really well. That Nativity two-parter was really great. The one-ish single issue with Spider-Girl or Spider-Woman was Jessica was really good. And I actually liked First Host. I thought that was a pretty cool storyline. Happy 2-year anniversary of the first Venom teaser that didn't feature Venom. Yes, exactly. What do you think of the Symbiote Spider-Man storyline? I personally found it interesting. Also, what are your thoughts on Venom the End? I'll talk about Venom the End. Lonely Symbiote sent me a digital copy of it, and I read it, but it was like a couple weeks ago, so I need to reread it. It was weird as shit, but I have some thoughts on it, so I'll save it for a video because we're running out of time. I'm actually already past my 15 minutes. I always do this, so we're gonna wrap this up in 5 minutes. So let me catch up. Lisa says, for me, the way Sandoval drew the symbiote in Costa's first issues was hard to see. I was upset and wanted to be good. Yeah, that's Sandoval's artwork's not for everyone. I do like some of his stuff, but yeah, it's like a mixture between like, it's like it's weird. It's like a South American manga, like if that's like a version of art, but it has like these like clean lines like a manga would, but it has this like sketchy, intense surroundings. So yeah, it's funny. I was going through all my stuff because I've been packing, obviously, and actually my room, all my walls are empty. I took everything off my walls already. I packed up like 80% of my stuff. I pretty much just have some knickknacks on my bookshelf over there, and then I have a couple of things here, and then obviously my TV, and then behind this there's like a little bookshelf with some graphic novels on it. But I'm mostly packed. Because I just was bored yesterday, and while everything was rendering and exporting, I was like, oh, I'll just clean. And next thing you know it was like most of my room was done. Or that was like 2 days ago. And I was like, most of my room was done. So yeah, it's like it's I got a lot on my plate, man. Like surgery, then packing in a month. I'm gonna be on, a month and like a week or two. I'm gonna be on the road to Florida. So I got a lot of stuff going on. So hopefully I can make it through. So yeah, I'll do my best with videos, obviously. Because Patreon, people are paying for it. I got to make sure I hit my 4 episodes a month. And then with here, I'm going to try to at least pump out the Venom vlog stuff the best I can. And then, but when I move and settle into Florida, like right when I land in Florida, obviously there's going to be like a week where I'll probably only do live streams because I got to find an apartment. I'm going to be staying with a friend. And then from there, once I get a place, we'll start making videos again. I love watching live streams while I'm writing, especially because I'm writing a Venom show. Hey, nice, Venom Gaming. Cool, good luck. Matt Gargan, that's right. Sorry, that's okay. Great job. Love your channel. Hey, thanks, man. Sleeper was one of the best new Marvel characters. I really like Sleeper. Yeah, he's great. That was a great miniseries. Howdy, Lonely Symbiote, and Lisa Metcalf with another. That's like $15 you donated to the channel. Like you're definitely the most. You're so awesome. Lonely is donating comic books to me, and Lisa donating the $5. Thank you for the super chat. I have no memory. Love Venom chats on Saturday mornings. Well, I'll try. I mean, if I don't, depending on work schedules, moving forward, I'll try to keep that going. I think I do work pretty much. Once I go back, because I only have 3 weeks left of work. And I was thinking about that. I was like, wow, I've been at this job for, I'm very happy with my life out here in LA. Like when I was looking back, I was like, man, when I was younger, I would work a job for like a month, 2 months, I would quit. And I would just bounce around job to job. Then I was a freelancer for years, and that helped because I would work a job for 2 days and then the job would be over. Out here, I've had a lot of long running jobs. It was like nothing. I've worked nowhere for less than like 2 years, I think, or a year. I think 44 Blue, when I worked there, was like a year doing post production. And then Golden Apple was like 2 years. Then I think Top Cow was probably my quickest job. I think I was there for about 6 months. But that was only because I moved over to Awesome Comics to help my friend Omar. And if I was healthier at that time, I would have tried to do both because I really liked the people at Top Cow. But I couldn't survive off of the money I was making. I thought I could at first when I first took the job, and then I was like, well, I can't survive off this. So my friend offered me a lot more. He offered me double than what I was making at Top Cow, and I was like, I got to take it. I got to take that. I got to think about myself and my medical bills and all that stuff. So yeah. And then I was with him for like 3.5 years, and then Lego for 4.5 years now. So yeah, man, it's been good. I got a nice resume now. When I go back to Florida, I got a nice resume. The other two symbiotes in the movie Yellow, but thank you for the chat. And like I said, especially the week after my last week is the first week of March. So March 7th is my last day of work, which is a Saturday. So I'll probably work that day. That most likely they'll schedule me. But from the 8th to like the 20th, I have no job out here. I'll just be, and since most of my stuff is packed, I feel like we'll probably make a lot of live streams and have a lot of fun. So we'll definitely make the most of our my last 2 weeks here. Hey there, Lonely says hello everyone. Hello. So you deserve it. Your time is valuable too. Sorry, it's not more. Hey, no, that's shit. No, I don't know if I deserve $5 every time I do a live stream from you. Hopefully you could stop on the $5 donations. That's totally cool. But it's don't ever apologize, for donating. I saw someone did that to me before. They're like, hey, here's like $10. I know it's not much, and I'm like, are you kidding? $10 is a lot of money to me. And I know it means a lot. So, and like I said, at one point when that money accumulates enough and they send me a check, that money is, I'm going to try to figure out. I'm like, all right, I gotta get some equipment for this channel because I want to not just live stream. We can do that through my phone now. It's not the best quality though. So, I gotta figure things out. I do want to improve this channel because, as long as they make Venom movies, I'll keep the Venom vlog going, but I do want to try to do other things. And so you'll see, I actually have a Resident Evil video that's going to go up later today. That is a little different. It's not, I try to put a little creativity in it because it's just me. It's like the camera. I filmed it last Sunday, the day before my surgery. My roommate went to church that night and I said, you know what? I want to do a Resident Evil video. So I just flipped through. Marvel Comics released the first ever Resident Evil comic. They just did one issue and it was a prequel to the first video game, art by Bill Sienkiewicz. And it's just the camera looking down and me flipping through the pages. And that's what I filmed. And I was like, how can I make this more interesting? So while I was sitting here yesterday, not doing much, I was like, oh, wow, we've been playing the Resident Evil games this week, or for like the past 2-3 days while I was on, recovering. Usually after a coiling surgery, I'll play Resident Evil to see how well my memory works. If I can remember the game, that to me, that shows me that I'm doing all right, because that game I've played, like 100 times, if not more. And so I'm like, if I can do it and I was like, all right, this isn't a speed run, but just don't have the mic on, don't have anything that would distract you, focus on the game, and just try to remember where you got to go. Because the game has camera cuts. Like it's not like Resident Evil 2 remake where the camera's over your shoulder. It has camera cuts, so you have to anticipate where you're going to turn and where you're going to run and what enemies might be there, and that's good for memory. Like that's my go-to game when I'm recovering. So I had this footage, and I'm like, we should splice some game footage in to my discussion video to help explain the plot of Resident Evil for people who don't know. And I think the video came out good. It's like it was like a 10-minute video. Now it's an 18-minute video because I added in these scenes from the game. But I think you guys will like it. It's pretty good. The other two symbiotes in the movie, yellow has a good sense of persona, while blue one was poetry with the others. Oh, there you go. Georgie, you're so amazing. Georgie's been commenting here for forever. I think. I feel like not probably since the beginning, but not too soon after. Or not too long after I created the show. I think. And correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you've been around before that, but yeah, I mean, a lot of you guys, we're getting near 2,000 subscribers, which is freaking awesome. I mean, it's amazing. I've done so many different shows on YouTube that have kind of grown the channel here and there on little things like Transformer. I still got Transformer fans that come here sometimes and stuff. So someone was telling me, like, YouTube's algorithms, they kind of appreciate a channel that does one thing, but obviously I cover a lot of topics. But I was like, well, if I can rein it all into comics, that's what we should do. So if I talk Transformers, instead of doing toy reviews, do comics. And if I talk Resident Evil, instead of just doing playthroughs of the games, talk about the comics, and if I can tie it all to that, then I'm essentially can brand myself as a comic book channel. Even though we do follow movie news with Venom, we do talk a lot about the comic books too. So I'm trying to have a central theme to my channel, so that way, even if I do other topics, hopefully you guys will be interested to check it out, because it'll hopefully still be comic book related. Heck, even $100 can stop a rent lord from destroying everything. Yeah, rent. Hey, what's up? Hey, can I spend it? Oh, yeah, yeah. Your birthday is coming up soon, right, Siike? Not soon. My anniversary comes up first. That's the anniversary of my aneurysm, my initial one, the one that exploded. So that comes up first in April, but my birthday is soon after. My birthday is the second week of May. My birthday is the week that the new Saw movie comes out, which, by the way, I was going to record a trailer reaction to, and I can't. Like, I didn't want to like jump around for excitement and with my head and stuff. So I finally last night I watched it with my roommate. I've been retweeting it, but I never watched it, and I was like, I'm going to record a reaction, and then last night I was like, I'll just watch it. Screw it. But I'm excited for that. I love the Saw movies. I own all of them. Don't forget tater tots and chocolate. I think for my birthday, I might make I was thinking about that for my birthday, making a big thing of tater tots, and then like getting like some Hershey's and making like a s'mores, and that was gonna be like my birthday dinner. I was actually thinking about that. So you guys let me know if you're into that. Maybe we'll make a taste testing video where I'll make different tater tots with different toppings or seasonings or spices. Maybe we'll do hot sauce challenge, and I'll dip tater tots into different hot sauces, and then we'll have chocolate to kind of cool our mouth off. I don't know. It sounds stupid, but I think it'll be fun. We'll call it the Symbiote Challenge. That'll be good. Excellent idea, Georgie. Lisa says to Georgie. Suki says, absolutely, definitely a good idea, Georgie. Yeah, there you go. The PS5 is coming out soon. Hopefully we get to see a trailer for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 this year. Can't wait to see Venom. Yeah, I can't talk about PS5 or Spider-Man 2 stuff. Sorry. But that would be awesome. That would be great. You parasites are amazing. Yeah, all you guys. You're so freaking awesome. Did someone else's live stream freeze? Not me. Oh, it's back? Okay, good. A bit random, but Tobey Maguire is still the best Spider-Man for me. Awesome. That's great. Tater tot video, yes. Okay, cool. So good. I'm caught up on comments. Yeah, so maybe we'll do that. We'll call it the Symbiote Challenge. And once I settle into my new place in Florida, so like maybe March, April-ish, we'll do the Symbiote Challenge, and I'll get a bunch of hot sauces, like hot ones. I love that show on YouTube. And we did a hot sauce challenge before. Actually, you can watch it. I think I think it's on this channel. I think it's a sad vlog, one of my Seek and Destroy vlogs. So if you go in that playlist, I think you'll see it. I did a hot sauce challenge with my friend Deadeye Shots, who's a Twitch streamer, and we met at Bubba Gump's and we did a hot sauce challenge. So maybe we'll do that again, and and I'll just line up, I'll make a mound of tater tots, and we'll just have all these hot sauces, and we'll just go down and just escalate and just get each one. That'd be awesome. I just hope it isn't hairy like implied. I mean, I'm sure I can't talk about it. I almost talked about it. See, that sounds like a fun idea. Chocolate is great. Chocolate is great. If you haven't watched, I did another Seek and Destroy vlog where my friend Tracy, she bought me a bunch of Japanese candy. And so for Halloween, I had like 3 piles of candy, and I had 3 movies: The Crow, Trick or Treat, and Nightmare Before Christmas. And I was like, let's eat a bunch of chocolate or a bunch of candy before each movie. And I did. I ate that. I ate that whole thing. It took me like 9 hours to film this video. I filmed it over the whole day of, I think it was the day before Halloween that year, or 2 days before. And I edited it and posted it on Halloween or something like that. But it took me 9 hours to film this thing, and I got so sick. I got so sick afterwards. It was, if you haven't watched some of my Seek and Destroy vlogs, they're kind of fun. There's another one where I ate an MRE, and at the very end, I chewed on this gum. And the guy who gave me the MRE, he was like, have you had an MRE before? And I was like, yeah, I think so, a while ago. And I go, memories for crap. I go, I'm pretty sure I've eaten MREs before, but not the one I had. It was like a little, like a stew or something like that. And he was like, but the gum you ate at the end. I go, yeah. And he goes, everything okay? Everything okay with you after you ate the gum? And I go, now that you mentioned it, I was like, I went to the bathroom like, a couple hours later. And he was like, yeah, the gum's a laxative. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah. He goes, you need it in the field sometimes. So the gum is optional, but at the end you popped it in like as a treat to yourself for finishing the meal. And he goes, and he goes, yeah, it was a laxative. I was like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. But yeah, some of those Seek and Destroy vlogs are kind of fun. When I heard V saying chocolate, I was so happy. If you do hot sauce, keep a glass of milk candy. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I'll have that chocolate too. So I'll just eat a bunch of chocolate. I hope they have Woody Harrelson on Hot Ones soon. That would be great. Tom Hardy needs to go on Hot Ones. That's a lot of candy. It was. That video was, there's a lot of candy I ate. Evan Falarkey, Dawn of Fixing This Darn Door, coming 2099. How is Evan doing? I haven't seen his videos in a while. I think I saw him on Twitter post about the Hulk comic book. I guess he's going to start covering the comic books that tie into the Avengers video game coming out. I haven't really seen a lot of his stuff lately. But hopefully he's doing well. He always seemed like a nice kid. I know and fandoms are tough. Like when you build a fandom, and people are a-holes to each other. I watched what was happening with that Spidey Squad stuff, and that honestly was why in my videos I was like, you know what? Let's tone down this level of aggression. Let's tone down this type of talking, because I was like, I don't want people who are shitty people to feel like they can come here and be shitty like that. That's allowed. I don't want that to be the case. So I think, and I don't think, Evan didn't intend for that either. But that is end up what happening with Spidey Squad. So I remember watching a lot of this stuff, and even though I didn't get involved in it or know everything that happened, but I was kind of like, I kept the back seat and I was like watching it from afar, and I was like, yeah, I don't want the Venom community to be like that. Like, I mean, of course, I have no control over that. The Venom people are going to like and hate what they want, but I wanted to try to nurture a place where you could have different opinions and not just yell at each other instantly over it. I mean, I'm not the best guy to be the keeper of that either. I admit my flaws too, but I'm trying. That's why I wanted to do a show like Venom. Eddie Brock's a character who's trying to be better. Right? He wants to be better. And so I thought that was great because I do too. And so this is a great character to make videos on because I can relate. I want to do better also. I know I screw up all the time. So that's what makes doing these videos so fun, because it's not just an exploration of Eddie, but I feel like if I go back and watch these videos, it's kind of an exploration of me and the kind of person I want to be. So yeah, it's been fun doing these. So what delights will tickle your pickle tonight? Tater tots and chocolate. Oh no, it's bad gum. Yeah, for sure. Smacks the table. Thank you. Awesome. Well, you guys have been great. I gotta go. I always run over. I originally wanted this to be a 30-minute stream. Then I was like, maybe I'll go 45 minutes. Now it's been like an hour and 5 minutes. but I'm glad I caught up on chat. Lisa, thank you for the super chat, the $5 donation, and all of you for just constantly being here, supporting us. The 13 people are in here, the 10 thumbs up, it means a lot. It really does. And it's exciting that Venom, I know we didn't talk a lot about the filming Wrapped and stuff. That's because I'm going to make a Venom vlog episode, a proper Venom vlog episode on it. So that's why I kind of veered away from the topic earlier, and just went to answering questions. But yeah, we'll talk more about that in an upcoming Venom vlog episode. Probably on Tuesday, I'll record the video about Venom wrapping, or maybe I will tomorrow. I mean, we'll see how much time I have in the morning. But yeah, and I go back to work on Monday, so I got to get in the headspace for that. And only 3 weeks left. I'm excited, but I'm also a little sad. I'm hoping some of my regulars that see me at Lego will come by and see me, and that way I can just have like a nice, fun final 3 weeks with the company. Stay safe, Siike. You all have a great day. You too, Lonely. You're a sweetie, Siike. These chats are always awesome with everyone. Amen. You guys are always great. So thank you for being here. Brennan says, always enjoy the stream, Siike. Have an awesome day. You too. Goodbye, Siike. Road to trailer begins. Yes, officially the road to the trailer begins. I just hope to God the trailer doesn't release the week that I'm driving across country. That would suck. That would suck so bad. That thought popped in my head last night, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm leaving like the 21st-ish, around that time of March, and it'll probably take me like 5-6 days to get to Florida. I'm like, man, there better not be any major Venom news that week. Like, that would suck so bad. I would be way late to the party for sure. But thank you for your time. Hey, thank you for your time, Swordsman. Thank you guys for taking time out of your day and your lives to be here with me. It does. It means a lot. And thanks for, I used to have feelings of being alone, like I all the time, especially being an aneurysm survivor and not like talking to a lot of people about it outside of like Dan Harmon or something, or like a podcast. But YouTube's given me a place to kind of be myself, and you guys have been awesome about it. So thank you, and I appreciate it. And you too, Lonely. Lisa says, have a great weekend, everyone. Take care, Siike. Bye, everyone. Hey, YM Snipes, what's up? Hey, how's it going? Hello and goodbye. I hope you have a great day as well. And you guys too. Thank you so much. We are Venom. You parasites, have a great day. Thanks so much. See you in the future. Peace.